Hi, Cat's Cradle here. Every now and then I run across a recipe that just as I read over it I can tell it's going to be something delicious. And this is one of those. This was for a corn casserole and it has very few ingredients. One is a Jiffy muffin mix, which is something I usually don't have on hand, but I've had this one for ages in my food storage and wanted to get rid of it, so this is the perfect time to do it. A couple of cans of corn, one of them's whole kernel, the other is cream style. Calls for a couple of eggs, a cup of sour cream, a little bit of melted butter. I actually used half of what it called for because I know that corn already has oil in it, so I didn't need quite as much as they called for, I didn't think. And I melted the butter in this 8x8 dish so that I could swirl it around and grease the pan with it. And I thought it probably could use a couple of other additions. So here's what I've got in the two little dishes. In the dish to the right, I have some salt. I'm going to add a little bit of that because the original recipe didn't call for that. And then in the little dish to the left, I have some of my homegrown bell pepper that I ground up into bell pepper powder, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, and a little bit of red pepper flakes. So now let's go and get this mixed up. All right, got my mixing bowl. I'm ready to put this together. I'm going to drain about half of the water out of the can of whole kernel corn just to get some of that, a little bit of that moisture out. I don't need quite all of it. And then it gets dumped into my bowl. And these vegetables I've had, I think they're about 2.5, maybe 3 years old. Then there's the can of cream style corn. And now I'm going to crack in my two garden fresh eggs from my own little hens. That's the best kind to me. There's one, and here is the other one. And I'm just going to break the yolks with my small whisk after I throw the seasonings in. Might as well go ahead and get them started rehydrating. I'm going to hold back a little bit of that salt and check it for saltiness before I put it in to bake and see if I need to add the rest of that. So just break those yolks and mix that up and get those the bell pepper and garlic powder and onion powder rehydrating. It's really simple. When I saw the recipe I just couldn't believe how easy it looked, and I thought if it's tasty, that's going to be a keeper because I'm always looking for a side dish. So here's the cup of sour cream. I'm sure you could use reduced fat. You could probably even use an unflavored yogurt or a Greek yogurt, or a lot of you preppers have Media Crema, the cream that's made by Nestle that's shelf stable in a can. I'm sure you could use that as well. You could even use sour cream powder if you have that. Just reconstitute that and mix that right in. So I've quickly discovered that instead of getting my instead of getting my large size mixing bowl, I picked up the medium one and didn't have enough room. So here, just scraping it out and giving myself a little more room to work. Sometimes you get in a hurry making these videos and don't quite get what you need. Lots of times as I begin to make dinner, I realize that I really should be showing you what I'm doing and making a video, so then you stop and get out the camera and the tripod and the lights, and then you start scooping stuff up in little dishes like you normally wouldn't do, but I like to put those little dishes out so I can separate the ingredients so you can see. So here I'm just swirling the melted butter around in the 8x8 Pyrex dish so that it will release the casserole when I go to scoop it out and hopefully make cleanup a little easier. So yeah, just pour most of that in, leave a little bit in the bottom just to grease the bottom so that it won't stick. And mix that right in. Very simple. And now for the cornbread mix, and what I was going to tell you about that is I think I have had that cornbread mix for more than 5 years. I know I moved it here when I moved out to the country. I know I've had it that long, and I think it just got pushed to the back of the shelf and I forgot about it. But when I found it the other day, I thought I need to either use that or throw it out. So I did smell it. It smelled fine. I took a little pinch and tasted it. My biggest concern was that it was stored in paper and cardboard, and that is never a good way to store food long term. Of course, you would not want to store this cornbread mix long term anyway, because it has a it has baking powder in it, and that goes bad fairly quickly. Or it doesn't go bad. It doesn't hurt you to eat it. It's just that it ceases to be effective. So what I'm going to do here is just add about a half a teaspoon of baking powder, and I just shook it in my hand and patted it down. There's nothing worse than getting a lump of baking powder or baking soda in a baked product to turn you off right quick. So I just made sure there's no lumps, and then go ahead and stir it in. It's real easy to incorporate the cornbread muffin mix. It was very loose. It wasn't lumpy or anything, so it mixed up very nicely. Since it tasted fine when I took a little pinch of it, my only concern was just the leavening in it, whether it was effective or not. So I think by adding that half teaspoon of baking powder, that I will ensure that it'll rise like it should. Okay, and here's where I told you that I was going to wait to the end to test it, and yes, it did need a little more salt. So I just sprinkle that on and stir it in. That's really wise to do when you're making a new recipe, is just to kind of taste it and see what the level of seasoning is. And yes, that little bit of salt made all the difference. So now it's going to go into my buttered 8x8 baking dish, and that size is just perfect for this. Scrapes out of the bowl cleanly. Really easy cleanup on this. Alright, and just smooth it out just a bit here, and then into the oven it goes. And it comes out looking so beautiful and golden brown around the edges, and very souffle-like and delicious on the inside, just as moist and creamy as it can be. It's really easy to get out of the dish. I'm serving it with some smoked sausage and a simple fruit salad made of my canned citrus. That's a mix of grapefruit and oranges that I sliced some bananas in. Let's see what Prepare and Paladin Prepper have to say. You try it and tell me what you think. It's really hot.
Over here. Mmm.
Okay, Paladin Prepper, you come over here closer to the microphone so I don't hear complaints about how the microphone's not any good. No, you hold it yourself. It's really hot. You hold it and see what you think.
I really like that.
Good, isn't it?
It's moist. I love the flavor of the corn.
Very good. Yeah, I like that.
And the good cornbread. That's excellent.
It's very good.
I could eat a whole bowl full of that.
All right, well, you're going to get to. All right, thank you. This is one impressive side dish. It is quick and easy to throw together and loaded with flavor. It's very dressing-like, and I think it would be delicious with any kind of smoked meats, and I'm going to put it in my weeknight repertoire of things that I can put together very quickly and with very few ingredients. I hope you try it, and until next time, this is Cat's Cradle.